Welcome to the Crush It in Sales podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet. This podcast focuses on the intersection of sales, leadership, and personal development. Now let's get ready to dig in and crush it. Wow, episode 9. I guess I've made it past that 7 episode where people talk about that most podcasts don't make it past episode number 7. But I do have another podcast, The Good Karma Success Coach. Episode 43 is getting released any second, could be tomorrow. My husband and I just recorded that together. So it's actually going to be episode 44. And I really want to mention that podcast too, because last week, actually it's probably almost 2 weeks ago, I interviewed Kate Erickson, who is the other half of Podcasters Paradise, EO Fire. She has her own podcast, Kate's Take, and she talks about her climb that she did when she was at Tony Robbins and Dean Graciano's mastermind, because they were one of the 10 affiliate winners for the KBB challenge. And it's just a great podcast that I want to reference because she talks about her lessons, and they can be applied to anything. So they can be applied to sales and business, starting your own company, becoming a top sales rep, anything you want to apply it towards. It's very applicable. So definitely check that podcast out too. This week, I want to talk about who are you being? Years ago, I heard that Lady Gaga, now someone can quote me and tell me that, this is wrong, but this is what I heard years ago, and this put this idea in my head, that Lady Gaga, before she was ever famous, used to walk around Manhattan thinking and daydreaming and envisioning herself as a superstar, as a mega superstar. And she would envision herself being that superstar. And that really changed so much for me. I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a cool way to envision. So I started, years ago, when I'd walk my dogs or drive the car, just kind of envisioning what I want my life to be. So when I wanted to get into sales while I was a buyer at Shop NBC years ago, I would envision myself getting into sales. And sure enough, it happened. And I found my way into sales. You can look at this 2 different ways. The first is more of the tactical approach. What does that mean? That means actually doing the work, taking the action, making the phone calls, sending the emails, connecting, networking, learning, reading, doing. So you're actually doing the work so you can be the best sales rep you can be. Are you using your time wisely? Are you organized? Do you have lists of goals? Are you using a CRM? Maybe you're not. Maybe you just keep track of all the people that you want to contact and connect with and do business with. That's all the tactical work. On the same note, are you being kind? Are you being nice? Are you being grateful? Are you saying thank you? Are you being pleasant when you work with your customers? Because honestly, I see a lot of it out there, and that's all not happening all the time. And it's funny, I revert back to this story that a few years ago, I recall all of a sudden I would say to my dad, hey, how are you doing today? When I would touch base or talk to him on the phone, and he would be like, I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great. I'm doing fabulous. Never better. All sorts of things like that would come out of his mouth. And I started to correlate that when I would talk to other sales reps and I would ask them, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on? Oh, I'm okay. Or, oh, sales are down. Or it's been tough. Or I hit a lot of traffic. It's always like a negative. And it's easy to get sucked into that. Oh my gosh, I can definitely tell you I've been there. I've gotten sucked into it, and I've had to really watch myself and stop, because that person can suck you into their little darkness hole. So I try to be more and more like my dad as much as I can, and keep his frame of mind in my mind as I go through my day. So, and sometimes, maybe you might be twisting the truth a little bit, but then often you might find yourself that it ends up changing your mind and your mindset, and you end up having a better day than maybe what you thought you were going to have. So those are some of the more tactical approaches to who are you being. And I'm sure if you sat and thought about it, you can probably even think of some more things. And actually, now that I think about this too, as I mentioned last week in my podcast, use these couple weeks. We're now coming into the week of New Year's. And again, it's probably still quiet for a lot of sales reps, and their clients are probably taking some time off. So use this time to sit and think about these things. Sit and think about, how are you being? How is your attitude when you call on customers? And how are you being in terms of your actual work ethic and your determination and drive in terms of getting the business? Part 2 then circles back to what I mentioned in regards to more of the Lady Gaga action. And that is thinking to yourself throughout the day that you are a top sales rep, or you're a successful business owner, or whatever it is that you wish to be. It could even be something personal. You're a great mom. You're a great dad. You are successful in making connections and building your business. You can take this anywhere you wish to take it, which is what's so cool, right? So think about the times that you have where you're driving, or like I said, walking my dogs. That's just such an easy thing. You're on your walk, you're on your run. Maybe you don't need to listen to Audible or music the whole time that you're on your walk or your run. And you can spend that time envisioning what you wish to be and putting it out there that you are a top performing sales rep, that you are a very successful business owner, that you are a great leader for your team, and spend some time assessing that. Because that is how you end up carrying yourself into appointments. So people can tell when you carry yourself into an appointment, where you carry yourself at a trade show, how you carry yourself at market, how you carry yourself even when you're talking on the phone. Like, people can tell if you're high energy or low energy. And I've mentioned energy before, and being a ray of sunshine, which sounds a little goofy and cliche, but it's really true. And it goes to everything you're doing, how you're speaking, how you're talking about your day, and how you're dressing. So when you put all of those things together with your mindset of how you are believing that you're being and you want to be, then mix in your taking action and your discipline and your persistence, you will be shocked at how awesome you do and how you can really capitalize on your business performance and potential. So I hope this little tip and thought process, along with taking action, really helps you and maybe put some thoughts together heading into the new year. I have also opened my private one-on-one coaching. So if anyone wants to connect with me, talk with me about this further, I am more than happy to connect with you. I would love to see how I can help you with all the skills and the mindset tricks and hacks that I have learned in the past. I'd love to share. And I just believe in people, and I know that they can do it. I love recording this podcast, so I hope that helps people. And I love helping and coaching and consulting on the side as well. So till next time, feel free to connect with me on Instagram. It's Melinda_Van Fleet. As I mentioned earlier, check out my other podcast, The Good Karma Success Coach, and I'm also always on LinkedIn. So Instagram and LinkedIn are the two places to find me. Feel free to email me at melinda@melindavanfleet.com, and you can also check out my website, which is melindavanfleet.com, and also Good Karma Success Coach. So till next time, I hope you crush it in sales. Happy holidays, and here's to 2020. Thank you for listening.